strike in New York. We had the air traffic controller strike as well. Taft-Hartley requires advance notice before you strike, so that government can try to train other people to deal with the harm that you're going to... The whole point is you're trying to shut them down and show that they can't negotiate with you in bad faith. And what a strike is not you strike when you're unhappy. You strike when things are so bad that you have to get the attention, you have to fight. And it's in effect a type of civil disobedience. I would make it akin to filibustering. You don't filibuster when you're not going to get your way. You filibuster when something's so gross that you have to say, I'm not going to participate in this, and we have to actively, the minority actively shuts it down. And I think it's interesting that it's embedded in a democratic institution, you know, whatever it is in the Senate, Rule 22, that allows that to happen. I think the best thing that would happen would be if there was a strike or the possibility of a strike happening in this country by one of the major unions of any kind, that they would have to get other unions to agree to suffer the consequences of joining a larger strike. And I think that there ought to be provisions put together in any union contract that calls for a no-strike provision that exempts as a matter of law, because it's unconscionable to ask any worker that they can't strike if their conscience demands it on an issue that let's say you would invoke the general strike over, something like a stolen presidential election, something that is so great that you just say, okay, we can't fine a worker twice their pay for being pissed off that, you know, the Supreme Court's going to give the election to somebody. That's the kind of thing. I don't know how the mechanics of that would actually work, but I have ideas, general ideas, that people in the labor movement need to start a discussion about to try to make it happen. Let me say this. I don't buy into the idea that consciousness dissipates. I mean, at the end of a race, someone stops running, but that's because the foot race is over and there was a finish line. And so it often feels like the energy is dissipated, but the consciousness that got raised, you know, in the Green Party, we'd look around and there'd be some people there that came in the Nader campaign, some from a Gonzalez for mayor campaign, some for Sarah Lipson for school board, some for Medea Benjamin for Senate, right? The organizations that we have, membership can swell. There might be people here that would never have considered socialist ideas that might end up joining one of the socialist groups and not be red-baited out of, you know, just dealing with the reality that, you know, democratic socialist ideas have worked in a lot of other countries and things like that. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that what Nader has often done is helped build existing entities. He's helped build new entities. And in this particular campaign, we're running as independents, so in a way, there's a decentralized opportunity for different states to decide how that energy is going to move forward. In California, it might be the Peace and Freedom Party. In other states, it might be an independent party or progressive party that you know, will exist, might gain ballot status, and then might have the opportunity to put forward candidates in other races. And so, you know, it's a difficult question to answer because I think there's often this critique of Nader as if when it's not election time, he disappears. But let me tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, the guy's on the road, he's speaking, he's often speaking to young people, he's trying to radicalize young people. I mean, there is not a month that goes by in the United States between elections that Ralph Nader isn't giving a public address and talking about Taft-Hartley. You know, there isn't a Democratic candidate for any office in this country that probably gives a talk, you know, once a month, the entire party put together, that mentions Taft-Hartley. That's my opinion. So I think we're doing our part.